What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Saturday, May 3rd. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate in the NBA playoff showdown between the Clippers and the Nuggets. I'll give you my dog of the day and pick out my massive lock, my pick that I think, regardless of price, has the highest chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally answer every comment every single day. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and it pays to check back a couple of times per day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, not too shabby. Not ideal. We did lose a couple. We had Toronto minus 145 to start the day, though. No problem there. A 5-3 win. Those two errors for Cleveland definitely helped out. Then we had the Dodgers minus 1.5, and I'll be honest, guys, we got greedy. We took them minus 1.5 instead of just straight up, and they burn us. Yamamoto, a great day out there on the mound, but unfortunately the Dodgers offense doesn't show up. We get a 2-1 win, so we don't cash that one. We had the under there in that Seattle-Texas Rangers game, and guys, that was a weird one. Leiter had his worst start of the season by far. Seattle puts up a staggering 13 runs all by themselves. So yeah, that one does not cash. A little bit rough to see that one coming. Now, finished the day out pretty good. Tigers minus 170, a 9-0 win there. The Angels continue to flounder. And yeah, Scooball out there on the mound, taking the Tigers seems like a no-brainer. That could have honestly been the lock of the day. We had Gary Payton II over 0.5 made threes. And while the Warriors played terrible, he was 1 of 4 from three-point range. He knocked down one, and that's all we needed. So cashing that player prop feels pretty good. Now, our dog of the day did not cash. Unfortunately, we had the Royals at plus 110. Kremer had an insane start there for Baltimore. A 3-0 loss there for the Royals. We also saw Bobby Witt Jr.'s hitting streak come to an end in that game, but we finished the day off strong. One of the best locks, I feel like, of the season so far. We had the Yankees minus 210 as our massive lock of the day. Fried was an absolute monster out there, and it was a 3-0 win there for the Yankees. So the lock of the day improves to 8 or 9-2. 9-2, I believe, on the year. So pretty good stuff there for the lock of the day, but not nearly as good as what we saw on the premium side, guys. But we'll cover that here in just a couple minutes when we talk about Stump the Spread. But let's go ahead and dive into our first game of the day. We're looking at the Tampa Bay Rays going on the road to take on the New York Yankees. The Rays come into this game needing some help, guys. They've lost 4 in a row. They lost 3-0 there, cashing our lock of the day in our first, the first game of this series. So they're going to be hitting the ball to Zach Littell in this one. He's 1-5 this season, 5.03 ERA. Now, my twin brother out there has been doing his thing recently. Now, he got off to a really rough start to the season, but his last 3 outings have been more than reasonable. And his last time out at the San Diego Padres, not an easy place to pitch. 5 innings, 5 hits allowed, 2 earned runs allowed, walked 1, struck out 1 in what was a 4-2 win there for Tampa Bay. So expecting Zach Littell to have a pretty good outing. The bullpen for Tampa Bay has been more than serviceable this year. They're 5th in the majors, a 2.88 bullpen ERA. The offense is the problem. It's completely deserted them. They've scored 0, 2, 0, and 1 runs over this here losing streak. It has been pretty brutal for a team that's only 19th in the majors in runs scored and 19th in slugging percentage, so not what I would term an elite offense. Now, they're going up against the Yankees in this one, obviously a team that is an elite offense. They're fresh off that 3-0 win. They did just lose 2 out of 3 there to the Orioles, but at 19-13 on the year and first place in the AL East, I don't think they're too worried. They're hitting the ball in this one to Clark Schmidt, who's 0-1 this season, a 5.52 ERA. His last time out, though, was his best start of the season. He went up against the Toronto Blue Jays. That was a home game for the Yankees, but 5 innings, only 1 hit, 1 earned run allowed. It was a solo home run. He struck out 6 and walked 4. So if that's the progression, like if he's going to be getting better and better, that is a very good sign for the Yankees. We'll see if that actually happens. The Yankees bullpen right there, very close to Tampa Bay. Both have very, very solid bullpen numbers. The offense for the Yankees, not killing it recently over the last couple games maybe, but in general this season it's insane. Aaron Judge batting .430 with 10 home runs and 32 RBIs. Hard to make that up. Now, we do see Chilson going to be missing 4 to 6 weeks with that oblique injury, so that's not great. But the Yankees still second in the majors in runs scored and first in on-base percentage, so I don't think they're too worried out there, and the odds makers certainly aren't. The Yankees are big favorites at minus 180. The Rays are plus 150. We've got a total of 9.5. Tampa Bay 5-4 on the road, so not a bad road team. 18, 12, and 2 to the under. The Yankees 10 and 5 at home, 16, 14, and 2 to the under. With a total of 9.5, you could definitely talk me into the under in this game. I don't think that's crazy at all. I can see both starters being decent. Now, in terms of a side, I'm actually going to lean just slightly here towards the Tampa Bay Rays at plus 150. This losing streak has to be snapped at some point. Zach Littell's been throwing the ball really, really well recently. I think the offense is going to wake up, and they could wake up here against Clark Schmidt. This dude is not lights out. So that's just a small lean, though. I very much doubt that the Rays are going to be our dog of the day. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Houston Astros going on the road to take on the Chicago White Sox. Now, the Astros managed to lose Game 1 of the series 7-3. Not a great look. That's back-to-back wins there for the White Sox. The Astros at 16-15 15 on the year, off to another slow start. They're hitting the ball in this game to Hunter Brown, who is not off to a slow start. He's 4-1 on the year, a 1.22 ERA. His last outing was pretty bad, guys. At the Kansas City Royals, 6 innings, 7 hits, a single run allowed. Obviously, I'm being facetious. That is not a bad start. That's a fantastic start. He gave up 7 hits, which I think is the most hits he's given up this season, but bro has been lights out this year, no doubt about it. So expecting good stuff from Hunter Brown, no doubt there. The Astros bullpen, 4th best in the majors, so that's been excellent. The problem for the Astros this season is their lack of offense. They've scored 3, 4, 6, 8, 7, 0, and 0 runs over their last few games. Obviously not out of the woods yet. They're still only 23rd in the majors in runs scored, 25th in slugging percentage, 20th in batting average. I mean, this team, not very scary at the plate. So we'll see what they do here against the White Sox. Obviously, not usually a scary team, but their last couple games, they looked like a real baseball team. They're 9-23 on the year, hitting the ball to Davis Martin in this game. He's 1-3 this year, a 3.24 ERA, and his last couple of starts have been fantastic. At the Twins and at the Athletics, he hasn't given up an earned run in either one of those starts. Now, both were eventually losses there for the White Sox, but it wasn't his fault. He's definitely throwing the ball a little bit better here recently. Now, the White Sox bullpen, while it's nothing to write home about, is not the absolute dumpster fire it was a year ago, but still a 4.34 bullpen ERA is bad. In this offense, while the last couple of days have looked so much better, is not good. I mean, they're still only 25th in the majors in runs scored and 29th in batting average. So I'm going to need to see a little bit more than a 2-game sample before I start thinking this is a real baseball team. But hey, they're doing well right now. Got to give them credit where credit is due. Now, the odds makers are not giving them credit. The Astros are minus 250. The White Sox are plus 205. We've got a total out there of 8 or 8.5. Houston only 5-7 on the road, 16, 13, and 2 to the under. The White Sox 5-10 at home, 15, 15, and 2 to the over/under. Guys, I like the under in this game quite a bit. Under 8.5, that's going to be my bigger lean on this one. I think we'll see offense be at something of a premium. Neither one of these teams really are amazing at the plate. We've got 2 starters that are looking good. Obviously, Hunter Brown's been elite. Now, in terms of the side, I got to take the White Sox at plus 250. It's not going in the pin comment. This is not going to be my dog of the day. It's a very, very small lean. My main lean on this game is that under, but I do think the White Sox are the way you want to go. I think we're seeing an extremely low scoring, 1-run game down the stretch. You could take the White Sox plus 1.5. I wouldn't be mad at that at all, but I don't think we're going to see the Astros bats here explode against David Martin. So yeah, give me a look at the under and give me a look at the White Sox. Jumping in here real quick, guys, I have to bring up StumpTheSpread.com. They sponsor all of our videos. Click the link in the description to get over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks, and they were pretty crazy yesterday, guys, going 3-0. Undefeated day. They had the St. Louis Blues, a 2-unit play there. The Blues come through with a comfortable, I think, 5-2 win. Not a big hockey guy, so forgive me for not being up to date. But they had the Cubs, a 2-unit play there on the Chicago Cubs. They win that one for them. And we also had the Blue Jays. We both had the Blue Jays. That was a nice 3-unit winner over at Something Spread. So a 3-0 day. Definitely worth getting over there, checking out all that we have to offer, all of our free picks that are exclusively posted over there that aren't, about these videos. And also, we've got bet size calculators over there and our premium picks that you definitely want to consider signing up for because there's some very good value there at a very, very reasonable price. Also, get over there, just sign up for a free account. All you need is your name and your email address. That'll get you one email a day. We're not going to be spamming you with emails. One email a day with free picks and likely with a free pick parlay of some sort in there. There's been no run first inning parlays and all kinds of interesting niche information if you were interested in like betting golf or betting NASCAR or some weird niche sport. We've got guys even looking for value on that kind of stuff. So definitely get on that email list. It's great, great value to you. I think you can definitely be helped by some of the information there. Also, if you're a huge fan of what we do here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members are eligible for our members only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member here on May 20th. We'll actually give you the choice if you want a hoodie or a t-shirt, either way, whichever, it is up to you. But we're going to be giving more and more of those giveaways here going forward. The number of channel members we've been having recently has been going up and up. So I appreciate all you new channel members. And hopefully this month, if we can get up to 70 members, we're at 65 right now. If we can get up to 70, we're going to do 2 giveaways this month. So get in there, become a channel member if you guys are interested. And now let's hop back into the games. We're going to be looking at the New York Mets going on the road to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, the Mets came away with a very easy 9-3 win there over the Cardinals in Game 1 of this series. New York's 22-11 on the year, cruising along, handing the ball here to Taylor Megill. He's 2-3 this season. Or 3-2 this season, a 1.74 ERA. His last time out, a decent but not great start against the Nationals. He went 6 1/3 innings, gave up 3 hits, 3 earned runs, and a home run while striking out 9 and walking 1. but we did see the Mets eventually lose that game 8-7. But overall, he's been very, very solid. He hasn't allowed more than 3 earned runs in any of his last 5 starts, and he's faced some decent offenses in there. So liking what we're seeing from Megill, obviously liking what we're seeing from the Mets bullpen as well. A 3.18 bullpen ERA has them somewhere around 8th in the majors, so nothing wrong with that. And the offense is slowly but surely coming around now. Pete Alonso hit another home run, hit a 2-run home run there in game 1 of this series, but he's been on fire, batting .345 with 8 home runs and 30 RBIs. That's pretty bonkers, guys. That's some pretty crazy stuff. They're 10th in the majors in runs scored. They're 7th in slugging percentage. They're 16th in batting average, though. So maybe this offense, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think they're going to be pretty good at the plate this year. They're taking on the Cardinals, who are not having a good time. They're 14-19 this year. They've lost their last 2 in a row. They're hitting the ball to Eric Feedy, who's 1-3 this year, a 4.68 ERA. Now, after dazzling in his first start of the year, he's been a bit all over the place, and last time out got shelled by the Milwaukee Brewers. We also noticed the Cardinals are 0-5 the last 5 times he's taken the mound. That's a pretty bad look, but not as bad of a look as the Cardinals bullpen, which is all the way down to bottom 5 in the majors, a 4.73 bullpen ERA. That's pretty embarrassing stuff. And the offense fading a little bit. I mean, they've only scored 4 runs over their last 2 games. Now, they're still not, basement dwellers necessarily, but 11th in the majors in runs scored is not a number that's going to last. They're definitely not going to be 5th in the majors in batting average either. That's a number that's been falling recently. So we'll see what happens with the Cardinals at the plate, but I'm not expecting miracles, and neither the odds makers here. The Mets are -143. The Cardinals are +123. We've got a total of 8.5. The Mets, a 500 road team, which isn't bad considering what we've seen in the early goings across the major leagues this season in terms of road play. They're 20-12-1 to the under. The Cardinals, 10-5 at home, 18-13-2 to the over. I'm going to be leaning, with this total of 8.5, just slightly towards the under, but not a huge lean there. I think if you're looking for the value side on this one, I think we just got to run it back and take the Mets. What I'm seeing from Feedy right now is just not good, so the Mets are going to be my side in this one. It's a little bit big of a favorite here for the Mets on the road, but I don't really hate it. So keep an eye out for this one. It's an interesting play. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Cleveland Guardians going on the road to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. The Guardians come into this game fresh off of losing game 1 5-3. So if you enjoyed cashing that Toronto pick yesterday, guys, do me a big favor, slam that like button. It was a pretty nice one to cash there 5-3. That tie-breaking hit in the 8th inning, very, very helpful. Also, Ramirez leaving injured in that game. You're never rooting for somebody to get injured, but if you're going to see an injury, you would prefer for it to be on happening to the team that you did not bet on that day. So we'll see if Cleveland can bounce back here, hitting the ball to Gavin Williams, who's 2-2 on the season, a 5.14 ERA. His last start was against the Twins, and it did not go well. 2 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, and a home run allowed. He's allowed 4 home runs over his last 3 starts. Tough outings against some tough opponents, but he didn't even look dominant against a team like the White Sox. So, yeah, we'll see what he can do, but it has not been smooth sailing for this young 25-year-old. Now, the Cleveland bullpen has also not been nearly as good this year as last year. A 3.88 bullpen ERA has them around MLB average, and the offense is going to be missing Ramirez. That's a pretty big guy to be missing. They scored 3, 4, 4, 2, and 1 runs over their last few games. Just not a good offensive team, guys. They're 21st in the majors in runs scored. We'll see what happens with Ramirez, but I don't think there's any chance he's going to be back for this game. I'd be pretty surprised. So keep an eye on that, but it seems unlikely to me. Now, the Blue Jays, they come into this game winners of 3 straight. They're up to 500 on the year, 16-16. They're hitting the ball to Kevin Gausman. He's 2-3 this year, a 4.50 ERA. His last couple of starts have been very problematic as well. He got shelled by the Yankees his last time out. Start for that didn't exactly go lights out against Houston, especially in a game, we saw Toronto lose 7-0. So not a starter we're super high on. The bullpen situation for Toronto is a little bit better than Cleveland, but not drastically better. The offense for the Blue Jays has been significantly better here recently, though, guys. 5, 4, and 7 runs over their last few games. George Springer doing his thing. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. finally turning it on here. He's batting .275, 4 home runs, 17 RBIs. I expect those numbers to continue to climb. The Blue Jays are not going to be the 27th run scoring team in the majors. That's not going to be a thing. So I'm expecting their offense to continue to head in the right direction. So are the odds makers. The Guardians are +120. The Blue Jays are -145. We've got totals out there of 8 or 8.5. Cleveland 7-8 on the road, a 500 over/under team. Toronto 10-6 at home, 19-12-1 to the under. First up, guys, I think over 8, super live in this game, despite the Guardians probably going to be without Ramirez here. That's something of a lean. I don't think that's going in the pinned comment necessarily, but with both starters struggling recently, seems like a reasonable spot. Neither bullpen scares me too much either. In terms of a side, this feels a little bit coin flippy to me, but with the Guardians dealing with an injury and Gavin Williams being bad recently, go ahead and give me the Blue Jays, but as a very small lean. Next on the docket, we're looking at the San Diego Padres going on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Padres come into this game 20-11 on the year. They just won 9-4 at Pittsburgh their last time out. Now Tatis leaving that game after getting hit by pitch. Not a great look. Now, the x-rays on his arm came back clean, so he's going to be all right, but he's going to be pretty sore here for a couple days. So we'll see if he plays or not, but if he does play, we're going to be a little bit worried about him. A little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. They're hitting the ball in this one to Randy Vasquez. He's 1-3 this year, a 4.28 ERA. His last outing was against Tampa Bay, 4 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs allowed. He gave up a home run in that one as well, which he's been really good at avoiding giving up the long ball, but yeah, not great at putting his team in a position to win, or at least not too much. The Padres are 1-4 over his last 5 starts, so not super high on him. Obviously, the Padres bullpen has been insane this year, a 1.85 bullpen ERA, tops in the majors. The offense has been cruising, 9, 5, and 7 runs scored over their last few games. Tatis leading the way for this offense. Like I said, he's going to be a little bit sore here for a couple days, so we'll see if he even plays tomorrow. They're 3rd in the majors in batting average, 10th in on-base percentage, so they're probably feeling good about their chances against the Pirates, who have now lost 5 out of their last 6. They're 12-21 on the year. They're hitting the ball to Bailey Falter, who's done some good things, but is 1-3 this year, a 5.93 ERA, thanks to struggling, especially in his last start against the Dodgers. It was at the Dodgers, so a lot of dudes are going to get shelled there in LA, but 4 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 7 runs, 5 of them earned, and gave up a home run. Obviously not the best look, and his start before that didn't have a particularly good time against the Angels. Not a great hitting team there. So not high on Falter, not high on this Pittsburgh bullpen that's well below average, a 4.26 bullpen ERA, and the offense has not been much better. 4-3, 4-0, 2, and 4 runs over their last few. Not a good look. They're 25th in the majors in runs scored. They're 26th in the majors there in batting average. Not loving life right now if you're a Pirates fan. I don't know if you need to be jumping off of fences, but it's not a good look. Now, the Padres are -120. The Pirates are +108. We've got totals out there of 9 or 8.5. San Diego's 5-7 on the road, 17-13-1 to the under. The Pirates 7-9 at home, and a 500 over/under team. Given this pitching matchup, I'm going to be leaning here just slightly towards under 9. If we're going to see Fernando Tatis Jr. not play in this game, we're not 100% sure about that one. Now, in terms of the side, I'll definitely just go ahead and fade Bailey Falter here. Randy Vasquez has not been kind to us this season, but I'll take the Padres as a small lean. Rolling right along, guys, we're looking at the Colorado Rockies going on the road to take on the San Francisco Giants. The Rockies come into this game fresh off that 4-0 loss in Game 2, so that can't exactly feel great. Obviously, this team at 6-26 on the year is not having a good time whatsoever. They're going to be hitting the ball in this game to Bradley Blaylock, who's 0-1 this year with a 10.29 ERA. He's made 3 starts or 1 start, 3 appearances total. Not great in his first start, getting absolutely obliterated there by the Cincinnati Reds. So you don't love to see that. That was a tough look, guys, and we'll see if he can bounce back. But I don't know. That's a rough way to start things off. I mean, he's 24 years old. He could shake it off and be fine. We'll just have to wait and see. The Rockies bullpen, obviously, not as bad as last year, so we'll give him some credit for improving, but not a bullpen that I'm super high on. And the offense has been kind of the worst in the majors, which is pretty surprising. Dead last in runs scored, second to last on base percentage. So not loving life if you're a Rockies fan right now. They're taking on the San Francisco Giants, who come into this game 20-13 on the season, which probably doesn't feel too bad. Now, they needed that win to snap a 3-game losing streak. They're hitting the ball to Jordan Hicks in this game. He's 1-3, a 6.12 ERA. Somebody who has, generally speaking, struggled this year. Now, his last time out was against the Rangers. Not a hard-hitting team, but he went 5 innings, gave up 7 hits, and 2 earned runs in that game. The Giants did win 3-2, but I don't know how much optimism that really gave me for Jordan Hicks. So we'll see what he can do. See if that Giants bullpen can continue to be amazing. They're second best in the majors. And the offense, well, it got off to an insane start, has predictably cooled. They've scored 4, 3, 3, 4, 3, and 3 runs over their last few games. Like, as you can see, not an offense that's killing it. They're 25th in batting average, 21st in on-base percentage. I think that's more where their run total is going to end up eventually as well. So looking at the odds for this game, pretty crazy. I mean, the Rockies are terrible, but they're plus 225 in this game. The Giants are minus 275. We've got totals of 8 or 8.5. Colorado's 2-14 on the road. That's an MLB worst road mark. They're also 21-9-1 to the under. That's an MLB best to the under. San Francisco's 9-5 at home, and they're a slight over team, but not recently. So this game, I'm not showing a ton of value. If you're begging me for a side, seems like a weird spot that maybe the Rockies could eke out some kind of crazy weird win if Blaylock, has a huge bounce back. But I obviously don't love that, and I'm not taking the Giants as massive favorites with Hicks on the mound the way he's looked, so I'd maybe lean towards under 8.5, but generally this is a stay away spot for me. Rapid fire through these games, guys. We're looking at the Minnesota Twins going on the road to take on the Boston Red Sox. The Twins took the 6-1 loss there in Game 1. This road trip has not been very kind to them. It's been pretty brutal. They're handing the ball to Bailey Ober, hoping he can help them bounce back. He's 3-1 this year, a 4.13 ERA. He continues to be very, very good. 4 out of his last 5 starts, he's allowed a grand total of 1 earned run. Now, he gave up 8 hits against Cleveland his last time out in an 11-1 win there for the Twins. So I'm feeling pretty good about Bailey Ober. Even if he gets in trouble, he can certainly pitch his way out. The bullpen for the Twins has been respectable this year, maybe not elite. A 3.75 bullpen ERA, not nothing to write home about. The problem recently has been their lack of offense. They've scored 1, 3, 2, 1, and 11 runs over their last few games. Now, we've seen some signs of life from guys like Ty France, but I'm not high on this offense, guys. 18th in the majors in runs scored, 21st in batting average. Not great. Now they're taking on a Red Sox team that's been doing some positive things. We'll see. I mean, some tough injuries going on there, but we'll see what goes on for them in this game as they hand the ball to Hunter Dobbins, who's 2-0 this year, a 2.45 ERA. Now, he's only making his 3rd start of the season. His first 2 were against the White Sox and the Cardinals. It's not the toughest opponents necessarily, but he was very good in those outings. So we'll see what this young 25-year-old has in the tank. The Red Sox bullpen has been problematic. A 4.17 bullpen ERA is not great. You never want to see that ERA number start with a 4. The Red Sox offense is coming to life a little bit. I mean, fresh off scoring 6, but they just don't feel like a 4th best in the majors kind of run scoring offense to me. I mean, that's what the numbers say, but recently it does not look like they've scored 6, 1, 6, 10, 13, 7, and 4 runs over their last few. So they have these big pop-off games, but overall, how good are they? We'll have to wait and see. But looking at the numbers for this game, the Twins are -109. The Red Sox are -118. We've got a total of 9.5 in this game. That's a big number. Minnesota's 4-13 on the road, so terrible on the road, but they are also 19-11-3 to the under. Boston 8-6 at home, and they're a 500 over/under team. I'm going to take the under in this game, and I'm going to take it here pretty comfortably. I think Ober's going to have a good outing. Dobbins has been good, and neither bullpen has been atrocious this year. So, yeah, the idea that we're going to get double-digit runs at Fenway in this one seems like a bit of a stretch to me, so I'll go ahead and take that under. Next up, we're looking at the Sacramento Athletics going on the road to take on the Miami Marlins. Now, the Athletics, a shockingly solid 18-15 on the year. They've won 3 in a row and 5 out of their last 6. Not against the toughest opponents necessarily, but they're taking care of business. They're hitting the ball to Osvaldo Bido in this one. He's 2-2 this year, a 4.31 ERA. His last time out, very good against the White Sox. It was the White Sox, so let's not freak out. But 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, a single earned run allowed in what was eventually a win there for the Athletics. It did take them extra innings, but they got the win. And over his last 5 starts, he's had 4 very good ones and 1 terrible one there against the Rangers. That's kind of a weird team to have a terrible start against, but it'll happen apparently. Now, the bullpen for the Athletics has not been great. A 4.29 bullpen ERA has them solidly in the bottom half of the majors, but this offense is something to write home about, guys. 6, 3, 7, 2, 2, and 3 runs over their last few, so not swinging the hottest bats, but over the course of the year, they're 14th in the majors in runs scored, they're 7th in batting average, and 5th in slugging percentage. This team has got some bats on it, like Tyler Soderson. He's off to a pretty freaking good start to this year, so we'll see if he can keep it rolling against the Marlins, who come into this game losers of, what is it up to now, 6 in a row, not having a great time. Handing the ball to Max Meyer, who's capable of some pretty big outings. He's 2-3, a 3.18 ERA. He had that crazy 14 strikeout game there against the Reds. Now, his last time out, he got shelled. So a little bit of a drop-off after that great start against Cincinnati. 4 innings, 5 hits, 5 earned runs allowed there against the Seattle Mariners. Not the best look. We also see that the Marlins are only 2-3 over his 5 starts, so that doesn't exactly give us tons of confidence. Now, looking at the bullpen situation for Miami this season, it's been pretty bad. Bottom 4 in the majors, a 4.97 bullpen ERA. Yikes. The offense hasn't been anything special here recently either. Over the course of the year, they're 14th in the majors in runs scored, but they scored 1, 7, 2, 6, 6, and 0 runs over their last few games. So they're not bottom of the barrel, but they're also not great. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, the Athletics are actually plus 105. The Marlins are minus 124. We've got a total of 8.5 in this one. Sacramento, a dangerous road team. They're 11-6 on the road. That's an MLB best road mark. They're a slight under team. Miami 8-8 at home, 21-10 to the over. They're obviously a huge over team. So I don't know, guys. This is a little bit of a tough one. I want to shade towards the Athletics just a little bit, but Max Meyer could be in a big bounce back spot here. We also like what we're seeing from Bido out there, so maybe under 8.5 is live, but also Miami's a huge under team, so can't get too on board with that. So a little bit tough to find value in this one. I will be leaning towards the Athletics and a little bit towards the under, but nothing going in the pinned comment here. Next up, one of the more exciting series that's taking place right now, we've got the Arizona Diamondbacks going on the road to take on the Philadelphia Phillies. The Diamondbacks took the tough 3-2 loss there at the Phillies in Game 1. Schwarber and Kleber going deep late in that game, definitely not helpful. So, yeah, the Diamondbacks bullpen is going to be a problem. Now, they're handing the ball in this one to Brandon Pfaadt. He's 5-1 this year, a 2.78 ERA. He's been absolutely dealing, hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in any of his last 4 starts. He has been throwing the ball really, really well, and the Diamondbacks are 5-0 over his last 5 starts. So you can't ask for much more than that. You could ask for a little bit more out of a bullpen that's putting up a 4.50 bullpen ERA, though. That's a tough look. The offense is coming around. It's still not looking like the Diamondbacks offense of yesteryear, though. Definitely not. I mean, Naylor off to a good start. Suarez with 10 home runs. That's all great. They're 6th in the majors in runs scored and 4th in slugging percentage, but over the last few games, 2, 4, 4, 3, and 6 runs. Like, that's not the kind of numbers I'm used to seeing from the Diamondbacks. So we'll see what they can do here against the Phillies, who have won 5 out of their last 6. They're 18-14 on the year, handing the ball to Aaron Nola, who is 0-5 this season, a 5.40 ERA. Now, his last time out was probably his best start of the year, or at least his best recent start of the year. 7 innings, 3 hits, only a single earned run allowed, and what was eventually a 3-1 extra inning win there at Wrigley Field. So good stuff from Nola in that one. We'll see if he can back it up here against another very tough hitting team. The Phillies bullpen, though, terrible. 4.70 bullpen ERA. That's a huge problem they're going to have to address if they want to find postseason success. And while the offense has found a way recently, they're still only 13th in the majors in runs scored. They are 17th in slugging percentage. This is supposed to be a scary offense, and they've scored 3, 2, 7, 7, 3, and 10 runs over their last few. So not terrible, but also not necessarily dominant. So looking at what the odds makers think about this game, the Diamondbacks are plus 105. The Phillies are minus 120. We've got a total of 9.5 out there. Arizona's 9-6 on the road. 15, 13, and 4 to the over. The Phillies are 11-5 at home, 17 and 15 to the under. I'm going to shade towards the Diamondbacks here at plus 105 with Brandon Pfaadt on the mound. I think they've got a chance to bounce back here against Aaron Nola, who hasn't been amazing this year. He's coming off a decent start, but that's just one start. So we'll see what they do here, but I'm going to be leaning towards the Diamondbacks here at plus 105, a decent amount, and no real read on that total. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Washington Nationals. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Cincinnati Reds. The Nationals come into this game losers of 4 out of their last 5. They lost game 1 of this series 6-1. Hunter Green mowed them down. The Nationals are going to be handing the ball to Trevor Williams, hoping he can get back on track and get them back on track. He's 1-3 this year, a 5.70 ERA. He got shelled by the Mets his last time out. He did have a couple good starts, good start against Baltimore, good start against Pittsburgh, but he also got shelled by the Marlins this year, so not super high on Trevor Williams or that Nationals bullpen. They have been the worst bullpen in Major League Baseball this season, an ERA of near 7. So that's a tough look. The offense obviously not hitting the ball particularly well right now. They're down to 14th in the majors in runs scored, 22nd in on-base percentage, and I think those are numbers we're going to see continue to fall here. They've scored 1, 4, and 2 runs over their last few games. They're going to need to score some runs here against the Reds. They've been playing well. They're up to 18 and 15 on the year, handing the ball in this one to Nick Lodolo, who's 3-2 this season, a 2.25 ERA. His last start at the Rockies, obviously a tough place to pitch. Not a tough team to pitch against, but a tough place to pitch. 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 9, and walked 1. A little bit of a bounce back after struggling against Miami and a little bit against Seattle, but now he's back home. I'm expecting pretty good stuff from him in this start. The Reds bullpen also light years better than what we're seeing from the Nationals, obviously. A 3.32 bullpen ERA has them, 9th or something like that in the majors. And the offense finding a way recently, 6 and 9 runs respectively over their last couple games. Now, this is not an elite offense. Obviously, Austin Hayes going there on the 10-day IL with that hamstring issue is not helpful. Over the course of the year, they're 5th in the majors in runs scored, but that's, wildly swayed by that 120-plus run game they had. They're 10th in batting average and 11th in on-base percentage, though. We like that. Looking at the numbers for this game, the Washington Nationals are plus 155. The Reds are minus 180. We've got a total of 8.5. Washington, 5-11 on the road, so a bad road team, a 500 over-under team. Cincinnati, a 500 team at home, so not great. 17, 15, and 1 to the under. I'm definitely leaning towards the Reds here at minus 180. I've got no faith in Trevor Williams whatsoever this season, and Lodolo's been very good. The Reds are playing well right now. Cincinnati at minus 180. Don't get too excited, guys, but there's some sort of outside chance this could end up as our lock of the day. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the Seattle Mariners going on the road to take on the Texas Rangers. The Mariners come into this game playing amazing. They've won 5 in a row and 7 out of their last 8. They're 19 and 12 on the year, handing the ball in this one to Luis Castillo. He comes into this game 3-2 on the year, a 3.62 ERA. Not up to the dominant start he had last season, but a dominant start his last time out. 6 innings, 1 hit allowed, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks, no runs allowed against the Miami Marlins, and a 14-0 win there for the Mariners. So has to feel pretty crazy for him to get run support this season, not something that happened last year. The Mariners bullpen, respectable, a 3.69 bullpen ERA. The offense is where the Mariners have gone nuts. Obviously, blowing up our underplay yesterday, scoring 13 runs all on their own. They scored 13, 9, 5, 7, 14, 4, and 4 over their last few games. This team can hit the ball. They're 9th in the majors in runs scored, 3rd in on-base percentage. It's crazy, the turnaround that we've seen from this offense. So they're in pretty good shape. It looks like against the Rangers, who are 16 and 17 on the year. They've lost 6 out of their last 7. Hitting the ball in this game to Patrick Corbin, who's been pretty good, 2-1 on the year, a 3.79 ERA. Now, his last couple of starts, they were both against the Athletics, a little bit scary. He gave up 7 hits in each of those starts. Now, only gave up 2 runs in each of those starts. The Rangers won 1 and lost 1, but giving up a lot of hits, and that can get pretty dangerous. Now he's got to face one of the best offenses he'll face this year. I guess he did face the Cubs early on, but yeah, the Mariners are swinging some hot bats, so that could be scary. The Rangers bullpen, nothing to write home about. A 4.12 bullpen ERA has them below average, and the offense for the Rangers is gone. Absolutely gone. They scored 1, 0, 1, 15, 1, and 2 runs over their last few games. It's not looking good, guys. Garcia's leading the way for them, batting .214. They're 29th in the majors in runs scored, 28th in the majors in on-base percentage. Not great. Not great. Very worried about them. And looking at the numbers for this game, it seems like the odds makers not as worried as I think they should be. The Mariners are minus 135. The Rangers are plus 116. We've got a total of 8.5. Seattle's a 500 road team, so no worries there. They're 18, 11, and 2 to the over. The Rangers are 11 and 6 at home, 23 and 10 to the under. I'm not messing around with the total on this game, guys. I'll take the Mariners at minus 135. This is definitely going in the pin comment. I think this is an excellent play today, and I think they're in very good shape to come away with a comfortable win there. With even, despite the Rangers generally, I don't know. I don't have anything positive to say, guys. Take the Mariners. They're in good shape here. Next up, guys, we've got an NL Central showdown between the Chicago Cubs and the Milwaukee Brewers. The Cubs come into this game winners of 3 out of their last 4. They won game 1 of this series 10-0, so I'm sure that felt pretty nice. They're handing the ball in this one to Jameson Taillon. He's 1-1 this year, a 4.01 ERA. Now, his last couple of starts have looked very good, though. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run there against the Phillies in a Cubs loss. And his start before that against the Diamondbacks, 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, in another extra inning loss there for the Cubs. So he's been a little bit cursed in terms of results, but he's been throwing the ball pretty well. So got to give the guy credit where credit is due. Now the Cubs bullpen, on the other hand, a totally different matter. A 4.53 bullpen ERA, downright terrible. The offense, though, has been cruising, obviously. 10, 8, 3, and 9 runs over the last few games. Suzuki hitting the ball well with 9 home runs, batting nearly 300. Obviously, Kyle Tucker's been off to a great start. They're first in the majors in runs scored, second in batting average. This is a dominant offense here. They're hoping to keep things rolling against the Brewers, who've now lost 2 in a row, but they're 16 and 17 on the year, so that's also not ideal. They're giving the ball to Jose Quintana, who's been lights out, guys. Lights out. 4-0, a 1.14 ERA. He's only made 4 starts this year, but he's 4-0, guys. He dominated the Diamondbacks, did a very good job against the Tigers, very good job against the San Francisco Giants, and then his last time out, 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, and a 7-1 win there at the Cardinals. So Quintana doing his thing. We'll see what he does here against the Cubs. Obviously, this is a tough team to face, but the problem for the Brewers could be when he comes out of this game, because the Brewers have been a terrible bullpen this year, a 3rd worst in the majors, a 5.14 bullpen ERA. The offense for Milwaukee, they haven't scored a run in 2 games, so that's got to change at some point. They're 7th in the majors in runs scored this year, but 23rd in slugging percentage, 15th in batting average. I think this offense generally is a little bit overvalued, but at some point they got to snap out of this funk, right? So we'll see if that happens in this one. The Cubs are minus 106, the Brewers are minus 112. We've got a total of 8.5. The Cubs are 10 and 6 on the road, 20, 11, and 2 to the over. Milwaukee 9 and 5 at home, 16, 14, and 3 to the under. I'm not interested in the total in this game, guys, but I'm very interested with these 2 guys on the mound in taking a no-run first inning play. I don't think Quintana's just going to get slammed out of the gate. The starting pitching situation is very, very good for these 2 teams in this game. The no-run first inning here in the Cubs-Milwaukee game has a real chance to be in the pinned comment or the lock of the day. Next up, guys, we're the Kansas City Royals going on the road to take on the Baltimore Orioles. The Royals come into this game fresh off that 3-0 loss there for us yesterday, so that was pretty annoying, but they're going to try to bounce back by hitting the ball to Kris Bubic in this one. He's 2-2 on the year, a 2.25 ERA. Now, his last time out, he got knocked around a little bit by the Houston Astros, gave up 4 earned runs over 5 innings, but he's been very good this year in general. I think he's got a good chance to bounce back in this one. The Royals bullpen also has been very respectable, 7th best right now in the majors, a 3.14 bullpen ERA, and while the offense deserted them in game 1, I think there's a good chance they could bounce back. Obviously, Bobby Witt Jr. snapping his hitting streak there doesn't feel great, but overall this team is starting to look a little bit better than their season numbers, which currently have them at 28th in the majors in runs scored. So we'll see what they can do here against the Orioles, who have won 3 out of their last 4. They're still only 13-18 on the year, though it's not killing it. Kremer had their best start his best start of the season by far. They're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Tomoyuki Sugano, who's 3-1 this year, a 3.00 ERA. Now, his last outing against the Yankees, fantastic. 5 innings, 5 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 8, walked 1. So very, very good stuff. We'll see if he can do the same thing here against the Royals. Now, the last time he faced the Royals, he was excellent. 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, only a single earned run allowed, and a 8-1 win there for Baltimore. And the last time we saw Bubic face the Orioles, guys, he went 6 2/3 innings, gave up 4 hits, a single run, which wasn't even earned, and a 4-1 win there for the Royals. So going to be interesting to see which way this one goes. Now, the Orioles bullpen this year has been a problem, a 4.66 bullpen ERA. Baltimore's offense has generally struggled, but it's looking a little bit better here recently, but nothing like what we saw from last season. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Royals are -110, the Orioles are -112. We've got a total of 8.5. Kansas City 6-10 on the road, 21-11-1 to the under. Baltimore 8-7 at home. They're a 500 over/under team. This looks like an excellent spot to take the under, or another look at a no-run first inning spot. I think both of these starters are in for good outings. We loved their history against these teams this season, so definitely give me under 8.5, and you could load up a no-run first inning on this one as well. Last but not least here, guys, in our MLB slate, we are going to hop over and look at that NBA game, so stick with us here. We've got the Detroit Tigers going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Angels. Now, the Tigers come into this game fresh off a 9-1 win. They won both games of this series very, very handily. They're 21-12 on the year. Green hitting 2 home runs, pretty crazy. 2 home runs in the 9th inning. That's the first time that's ever happened in the majors. That's pretty nuts to see a first in Major League history. The Tigers are going to be hitting the ball to Jack Flaherty, who's only 1-3 this year, but a 3.34 ERA looks nice. His last time out, a little bit rough there against the Houston Astros. It was a road start, and he's been a little bit better at home, generally speaking. So he's going to be pitched on the road in this one. Against the Angels, though, I don't think I'm too terrified. Now, the bullpen for Detroit has been fantastic this year. 3rd best in the majors, a 2.62 bullpen ERA. And the offense, obviously on fire. Now, getting to go up against the Angels bullpen will certainly help, but they've scored 10 and 9 runs, respectively, in the first 2 games of this series. So I think they're feeling pretty great. Now, they're taking on the Angels, who are in a free fall right now. They've now lost 7 in a row. They're hitting the ball to Kyle Hendricks, who's 0-3 this year, a 6.65 ERA. And after slightly better performances, I guess, only lasted 3 innings against the Twins in his last outing. This guy seems like he's about at the end of his rope. So we'll see what Kyle Hendricks can do out there, but even if he's good, that Angels bullpen right there to let you down, a 6.60 bullpen ERA. Horrendous, and the offense has not been good either. 1-4-3-3 and 0 runs over their last few games. So not a good look at all. The Tigers are -180 in this game. The Angels are +152. We've got totals of 8 or 8.5. Detroit 7-9 on the road, about a 500 over/under team. The Angels 5-6 at home, about a 500 over/under team themselves. Not interested in the total in this game, guys, but we're slamming it on the Tigers here at -180 as our lock of the day. I'm expecting Flaherty to have a nice bounce back. Kyle Hendricks has been terrible. This Tigers offense is absolutely on fire. I don't think there's any way they end up losing here to the Angels in this, nightcap of a game. Definitely give me the Tigers in this one. Now, guys, we're going to hop over and look at the one NBA game on the slate. We've got the LA Clippers going on the road in this one to take on the Denver Nuggets. Now, the Clippers took that was a big win, a pretty big, crazy win here to force Game 7. So good job there for the Clippers, and yeah, congratulations there for the Clippers fans. Now, things are gonna not gonna be very easy. You didn't get home court advantage here, so now you've got to go on the road and play in Denver at elevation in the last game of the series. It's going to be an interesting one. Cannot wait to watch this game. It's going to be a cool game. Gonna be a cool game. You can bet on it. Now, the Nuggets there in game 6, didn't get exactly what they were hoping for, obviously. Didn't get off to the best, but maybe not the worst start, but had a disastrous third quarter. And while they tried to make a comeback, it fell a little bit short. Now, Terrible night for Michael Porter Jr. He did not play well. That shoulder injury may be catching up with him. Christian Brown playing really well, though. Jamal Murray doing some positive stuff. Maybe not a full-on playoff Jamal Murray game, but Jokic also not really his typical numbers, and Westbrook continues to shoot the lights out from three. So it has to suck if you're a Nuggets fan to shoot over 50% from the field, over 40% from three, and still lose. Now, you're probably a little bit bothered by the fact that you shot 9 free throws and the Clippers shot 15, but what are you going to do? That kind of stuff is going to happen to you occasionally, but hey, you're the Denver Nuggets. You get to play this game at home. You've got to be pretty freaking stoked about that. You're also fully healthy coming into this game. Now, the Clippers, very good stuff from Kawhi. No shocker there. Harden avoiding a huge playoff letdown. That's kind of his MO, and he dodged it there. Now, will he be able to dodge it here on the road in a pivotal Game 7? It would be pretty much Harden's calling card to have a horrifying game in this one, but we'll see if that happens. Now, the Clippers come into this game in terms of their injury report. They're also looking fully healthy. So a big deal there, obviously, for the Clippers to be healthy. Kawhi, always a scary guy, in terms of health. So we'll see what they can do in this one, guys. The Nuggets are 1.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 205.5. The Clippers, 21-23 against the spread on the road, 45-41-2 to the under. Denver, 19-24-1 against the spread at home, 51-37 to the over. I'm going to go ahead and take the over 205.5 in this game as a small lean. I think that's very, very reasonable. I don't see any significant reason to shy away from that. I know Game 7s can be a little bit more, guys get a little tight, miss some shots, and we'll see a lot of defense out there. But I still think these two teams are too highly skilled to not score at least 206 combined points. Now, in terms of the side, I'm taking the home team. Give me the Denver Nuggets here at -1.5. Getting to play at elevation is a huge advantage. They've got the best player in this series, which is Jokic. Now, Kawhi's been amazing, but Jokic is the best player in this series, hands down. So definitely give me the Nuggets here at -1.5. It's probably not going in the pinned comment, but I do think there's some value here. I think the Nuggets are probably closer to like 3-point favorites for what that's worth. Now, I've got some player props that I think are much more interesting, and I'm much more interested in putting in the pinned comment here. And first up, I'll take James Harden under 20.5 points. History tells us any huge playoff game, we need to be fading James Harden doing positive things. We have even seen him come up small in a couple of the first 6 games of the series, not Game 6 specifically, but I don't expect him to do anything to close to what we saw in Game 6 here in Game 7, playing on the road at elevation. I just don't think he's going to have a good night out there. I think Christian Brown, over 11.5 points, is super live in this game. He had 14 in that Game 6 loss. He gets to go back home for this one. It's unfortunate he gets targeted a little bit there on defense a good amount of the time, so he might be a little bit tired offensively, but still gets a good amount of offense in. He can knock down a couple threes, which would super help, and role players playing at home tend to play better. And last but not least, guys, I'll take Russell Westbrook over 4.5 rebounds in a pivotal Game 7. He just had 10 boards in Game 6. I fully expect him to be productive off the bench once again. I don't necessarily think he's going to shoot the ball as well again, but we've been saying that for the last couple games, so who knows? But we don't care about that. We just need Bro to grab 5 rebounds in this game. I think he'll definitely do that, and this play has a great chance to end up in that pinned comment. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Smash that like button if you loved this monster of a video. Let us know in the comments anything you want to say about these picks. Obviously, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Tons of new subscribers, so we love to see it. Thank you for watching. Click the link in the description to get over to stumpthespread.com. Check out those premium picks, which just went 3-0 yesterday. Crazy stuff out there. And guys, don't you worry. We'll be right here tomorrow for more sports betting action.